Moving on, we're going to take a look at UFC 105. It's going to be free and live on Spike TV, on Saturday night, coming from the UK. We look at the main event. What do you think? Randy Couture, Brandon Vera.
Wow, I mean, I think this is an interesting fight because I think they both have something to prove. You know, I know a lot of people might say, you know, Randy Couture at this point has nothing to prove, but that's not true. You know, if you really have nothing to prove, you shouldn't be a fighter anymore. That's first of all. You know, furthermore, he's coming off 2 straight losses, so he wants to prove. I think that he's not a has-been. You know, he's not washed up. And what better way to prove that than to defeat a young, rising talent like Brandon "The Truth" Vera?
Definitely a great fight. Couture says at this time he wants to take only interesting fights, and they don't get more interesting in this. This is a very deadly opponent for Couture because Brandon Vera's got brutal Muay Thai. Yeah. He's got a brutal clinch. And, you know, he has those submissions as well in his very versatile. It all comes down to Couture's wrestling. If he can execute his wrestling, get enough damage onto Vera, he may squeak out a decision. But you got to believe the safe money's with Vera.
You know, I have nothing but respect for Randy Couture, but for some reason, when I'm thinking about this fight, maybe it's because it's on Spike TV or what, but to me, this fight reminds me of the Ken Shamrock-Rich Franklin fight. Okay. I just have a feeling that Vera's going to knock him out early.
Really?
If not early, in the second round.
Yeah.
I just think Vera's too young. He has great Muay Thai, like you mentioned. I think that you know, Couture's going to go down. I mean, I'm not saying that's what I want to see, but that's what I predict.
Yeah, Vera looking to establish himself in the light heavyweight division. He's coming off 2 victories in a row, while Couture comes off of 2 losses in the heavyweight division. And Couture needs this win if he wants to establish himself in this dominant light heavyweight division. This is the premier division of the UFC.
Well, for the past few fights, you know, Vera's been a little inconsistent as well. So he has something to prove also. You know, they both have something to prove in this fight. You know?
Very interesting fight. We didn't see it coming.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere. Like, I would not have guessed they would put Couture against Vera. I would think they'd put Couture against somebody more known. That's who he's been going up against lately, like very known names.
Right, like a Nogueira.
Not that Vera's not known, but you know, he's not as popular as like Nogueira.
Right, he hasn't been in the main event scene for quite some time.
I think it's a great free main event. You can't ask for a better free main event.
Oh, definitely. Definitely look forward to these two, stand and bang or wherever it goes. All right, next up we got Mike Swick, Dan Hardy, 2 great welterweights, rising welterweights, great young talented guys. And we know that the winner will take on GSP for the title.
You know, these are both, you know, great young fighters, but I don't think they're ready for GSP. I think GSP is in a different class than these guys. Maybe they'll prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll show me something in this card to prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's true. I agree that neither one poses at this time a very compelling challenge for GSP. However, this is going to be an exciting, entertaining fight. The way I see it, these two are going to stand and bang, and one's going to get knocked out.
They stand and bang. I really get my money on Mike Swick.
Yes.
I think Mike Swick has very good hands, quick hands. That's why they call him Quick Swick. Because his hands are so quick. And I think that if it ends up being a stand-up game, a stand-up fight, I think I get my money on Swick.
Definitely. But you can't take anything away from Dan Hardy.
No.
He's coming 3 straight victories in the UFC. He knocked out Rory Markham in the first round.
He's never lost in the UFC, correct?
No, not in the UFC.
Yes, he's undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah, he knocked out Rory Markham out cold last February in the UK show over at the UFC. And then also he had a big victory over Marcus Davis. You know, caught Davis with raising elbows, cut him open, took Davis out of his game, and won a very close split decision.
Right.
And he was very unsatisfied with that performance, so he wants to actually, you know.
Oh, didn't Davis want a rematch in Boston or Ireland? Ain't that what he said?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And I know Davis really upset about you know how that fight turned out because they had a lot of bad blood going into that fight and. Usually after the fight, you know, they fighters, you know, bury the hatchet. But in this case, Davis just stormed out.
Yes.
He didn't want anything to do with it.
Marcus Davis.
Yeah, you don't see that. So they really have genuine animosity. But anyway, it's not about Davis. It's about, you know, Swick and Hardy. I can't wait. It's going to be a great fight. Big opportunity for both guys.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Swick's going to take advantage of the opportunity.
Me too. It's going to be very entertaining. Big knockout victory. I can't call it though down the line.
I can call it. Hey, so far I got Vera and I have Swick. You got this on record, you know.
Yeah, I got to go with Swick on this one. Okay, next up we're gonna see the UFC's favorite Brit, Michael.
Dana White loves him some Michael Bisping.
Yeah, he does.
I'll tell you what, he loves Michael Bisping.
And Michael Bisping's gonna take on another established veteran. However, not established in the
He's not
UFC
established
yet.
in the UFC.
And
This
guy-
guy's been all over the world. He's been all over the world. He has scars and stripes to show for it. I think Bisping's going to get the win. Let me just get that out right now. You know, I mean, Kang, he's experienced. He's battle scarred, but I just think Bisping's a better fighter. I mean, Bisping has victories over the likes of Frank Mir. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he beat Frank Mir.
I thought he was only at light heavyweight.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm 75% sure he
Really?
has a victory over Frank Mir.
Go back and look at that one.
I know, like, well, he has 2 losses, right?
Yeah, he
Now,
was
one of those losses was to Rashad Evans.
Yeah,
right?
it was
and who was the other loss?
decision. Well, his most recent
Oh, yeah, loss to Dan Henderson.
Yeah, and that was the first time he was
Okay,
finished.
so Dan
in a fight.
Henderson and Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
So those are only 2 losses, and I don't think Kang
Both former
is gonna,
champions as
both
well,
former
light
champions. I
heavyweight.
don't think Kang is in that. You know what I mean? Kang is not in that class. So those are only 2 losses he's had, and I think that he'll bounce back from that. Not for nothing, kind of embarrassing knockout.
Yeah, but that was the first time he was finished in a fight or stopped in a fight.
Yeah, it was the first
So you
time.
got to give him that as well. He's gone 18 fights without 18 or 19 fights without being finished a single time. You know, that's impressive as well. So Dennis Kango, if he comes in and beats the established
That'd be a
Michael
very big
Bisping.
win. Yeah.
You know, he's coming off a very tough loss against Alan Belcher in his UFC debut by guillotine choke.
Yeah.
And also, after that, he did beat Professor X, Xavier Pocum. But you got to look at him. He wants to reintroduce himself to UFC fans and establish himself in this dominant middleweight division. And a big win over Bisping. And especially Bisping's own hometown of the UK, that's a big win for Dennis Kango.
This is a great free card, you know.
Very exciting.
This is a very good card.
All right, next up, we're going to look at UFC 106.
Oh, man. You know the story with this. Man, Brock is out. That's the big story, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, I know. That was a very entertaining fight between Brock Lesnar and Shane Carwin for the heavyweight title. Very marquee fight, and unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to see that due to an illness on Brock Lesnar's part.
Mono, right?
Yeah, but we've got 2 exciting fights. We've got the rematch, Tito Ortiz versus Griffin.
How far is Griffin? I told you this, How far is Griffin can just continue his career as if nothing happened after that humiliating defeat? I'm sure a lot of people will applaud him for that, but I just think that it was such a silly, embarrassing defeat at the hands of Anderson Silva. Just the way he lost. I don't see how you can come back. I mean, I don't see how you can rebound mentally after something like that, because that was the most humiliating thing I've ever seen. The way Silva is just, embarrassed the guy.
Yeah.
And this is a chance. This is a chance to get back on track, I guess. But I don't see how you can recover mentally from getting. And the man ran out of the ring to the back with no explanation, and now he's gonna show his face again as if nothing happened. I think Tito Ortiz is gonna win, because I think Forrest Griffin is never gonna be the same again after that. So.
Well, Forrest Griffin's a very emotional guy, and this is not the first time he did it. He did it in his loss to Keith Jardine when he was knocked down the first round as well. But you gotta believe Forrest Griffin's coming off of 2 losses. He's looking to rebound quickly, and I believe that Ortiz is an opponent he can beat. Ortiz is coming over
He can
a
beat him.
year and a half layoff. Ortiz has not fought since he faced Lyoto Machida a year and a half ago, and he lost by decision. It was a fight where Ortiz did so poorly, he didn't even score any impact strikes or takedowns.
I believe it when I see it. I don't think Griffin's gonna be back mentally yet. He should have taken more time off. If he's gonna come back after that fight, he should have at least took more time off.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's ready yet mentally.
Well, I think Forrest is, he wants to get back into it as quickly as possible. He wants to redeem himself.
See, I would think Tito's more mentally into this fight, because I think he's had obviously a lot of time to do some soul searching. And I mean, for all we know, he's been training like a maniac for all these months. For all we know, he's been in the gym working like crazy. So I think Tito Ortiz is going to come ready, and Griffin, I don't think is going to be mentally prepared yet.
Yeah, well, Ortiz is a former lightweight champion. You can't take that away from him as
Yeah.
well. But I look at Forrest Griffin. He comes in this fight with a lot of heart. First fight, he lost the first round. He was brutally, viciously mounted and struck by Ortiz, but managed to, defend himself intelligently. And in the second, third round, it was a very close fight. He did come back in the second round, got some great boxing in there, was really able to punish Ortiz standing. And then in the third round, Ortiz took him down, and maybe that's why he scored on the judges' scorecard to win the fight. So I'd like to see these
I think
two fight again.
Griffin's style matches up very well against Ortiz's style. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I just think the mental is going to be